So, as marketers and content creators, what is ChatGPT 5 going to help us do better? Well, first, when you log into ChatGPT 5, the first problem I have is this is not helping me, right? This is not helping me do anything better. So, understand you can come down here. And what I mean is the screen, this sort of weird gradient looking color. You can come down here and you can come to settings, and there are some options to change the theme. System and light are the same. The only option is to change it to dark, which I think I'm going to default to from now on. But the good part about this is, even though this is the main screen now, when you move into what we need to be doing and focusing on as marketers and content creators, actually trying to create content or using ChatGPT 5 to help us create better content, to identify a problem for a group of people, and then move those people towards a solution. Once you put in a prompt like this, act as a direct response email copywriter promoting an affiliate offer for a digital information product. Use the before-after bridge structure from the Prompt PsyOps Message Clarity Codex. Once you put in this full prompt to actually start getting down to work, it disappears and you have the traditional white screen, or what I would say is a traditional light, just white screen. And you get into the business of actually creating content. And that's what I want to talk about today in this video, is the business of creating content and not being lost in the minutia of ChatGPT 5. This is the Prompt PsyOps GPT-5 integration map that I created with the new ChatGPT 5. But as you can see, ChatGPT 5 is still not any good at creating images and getting the words right, and just the layout itself. You can see that the words are bleeding over the line down here. Better conversion, pre-testing bleeds over the line. Up here, this talks about cross-asset intelligence, INTELIGENTS, right? Like, what is that? So again, this is part of what I have started to look at to test. This is inside of my Prompt PsyOps project, because I want to see how things work inside of my projects, because people are freaking out about GPTs. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as well in this video, because they've lost the ability up here to change the other models. There's just GPT-5, the flagship model, and just GPT-5 thinking, get more thorough answers. And then you have to upgrade to Pro, but it's still just GPT-5. There weren't all those other models, but the idea and the concept here is, do you know what version of Windows you're running? Do you care? Except for, the idea of the fact that you need to upgrade and you might have to suffer through the cosmetic changes. Yes, but underneath the hood, Windows, when they provide an upgrade, or Mac OS when they provide an upgrade, or your phone, iOS or Android, when they provide an upgrade, you don't really have much of a choice. And that's not your job. And the focus can't be on the model that ChatGPT is running right now, right? As marketers, as content creators. Now, there's other reasons that people use those other models and they were getting good results and they were happy with them. And some of those results changed. But for us, all we're looking at is going through the process of saying, what does ChatGPT bring to the table for Prompt PsyOps? So for me, right, looking at this going, what is my focus for using ChatGPT? ChatGPT is an AI LLM, a large language model. It is helping me craft a better message. It is helping me learn how to get better at creating the message to let the folks that have a problem know how I can help them solve it and then move them towards a solution. So either as a product creator creating my own product, I write a sales page, I write emails, I create videos here on YouTube. I have the AI help me brainstorm as an assistant to craft a better message. So I go back to that, and I'm inside of my Prompt PsyOps project here, and I say, what does ChatGPT 5 bring to the table for Prompt PsyOps? Prompt PsyOps, the focus being my philosophy for using AI to help me craft a better marketing message. GPT-5 brings a lot to Prompt PsyOps, not in a flashy, look at the shiny new AI. Don't be worried about all those other videos out there, right? And all the people that are telling you that ChatGPT-5 is not going to work because of these different metrics and these benchmarks and like all these things that it can do for certain types of coding. The focus for us as content creators that are marketers, affiliate marketers, or our own products, is to look at what GPT-5 brings to the philosophy of crafting and creating a better a message. For example, like I do inside of Prompt PsyOps, not in a flashy, look at the new shiny AI way, but in this unlocks a new level of systems and sophistication way. Here's what I see as the most strategic gains for you. Longer context equal bigger operating system thinking. This just means that, for example, if we were using the new PLR activation code or the bonus flip framework and your YouTube content system into one mega prompt library, then you have GTP5 pull from any of them instantly when you're planning a campaign. Now, does that work? That's a different question, right? And complaining about that and then people saying that it doesn't work right now, right? It's brand new. It just came out. So we'll have to test that along the way. But we need to focus on what is this bringing to the table. So we come back and we move out of the project. And here you can see that I'm not inside of my project. I'll open up my sidebar. You can see I'm not in my Prompt PsyOps project anymore. I'm just having a basic chat. Or I haven't set any context inside of my project. And I'm asking ChatGPT, what can you do better than before in general, not specific to me or any use cases? Broadly speaking, compared to earlier versions, I can now do quite a bit better across three big areas: understanding and reasoning, communication and style, multimodal skill and integration. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean to you and me? That means that it is working, that it is trying. OpenAI, just like all the other AIs out there, like all the other companies that have bet and have been building a business on creating these chatbots for us to use and adding these features that we need. And I say we, us as marketers and content creators, we need a very specific set or even a small set of instructions that we can give to the AI and the LLM, but we can't be concerned about all of the other things that people are complaining about that they want from their AI chatbot to rule the world or to run their lives. We want to come back and we want to understand what it can do for us. So what do? We go to our very specific frameworks. In this case, I go back to what I do here on 30-Minute Marketing inside of Prompt PsyOps, my philosophy for using AI, LLMs, not ChatGPT-5, not Claude, not Google, whatever version there happen to be running right now, but what we can do, what I need to do to craft better messages. So my Prompt PsyOps strip and flip PLR framework, I take that and I take it over to ChatGPT-5 and I load up, and I'll scroll up to the top. I load up some PLR. These are just some PLR documents, private label rights documents that I purchased a license to use as my own content, that I'm going to run the strip and flip method on this PLR to help me craft a better message and to target a specific audience based on this content. And then I'll stop the scroll here for a second. All right, I ran the strip and flip powered Prompt PsyOps on your 10-piece PLR stress management pack. Here's the transformation from raw PLR on brand to purpose-driven asset. So for me, ChatGPT hasn't changed. ChatGPT-5 hasn't changed my focus. I am still here trying to transform raw PLR into an on-brand, purpose-driven asset that I can use to identify a group of people and let them know about the problem and find them on the internet and then take them through all the hurdles and the problems they have towards the solution that I've identified for them. So again, it's going to strip and flip it. It's going to strip the surface. It's going to find the core transformation. It's going to find the angle. It's going to flip the framework, and it's going to create a branded method. And it's doing the exact same thing as GPT-4 was, GPT before that, whatever model that was running before, the strip and flip framework is still doing the same thing for me and for you. So we move through to this, right? And we say, okay, let's do this same thing and not use Prompt PsyOps philosophy just as, hey, I want to put this PLR into my ChatGPT, now ChatGPT-5 as the only model, well, besides GPT-5 thinking, so I can test these two models. So the whole thing has been simplified. Now we just have to look at these two models and which one works best for us, but really just stick with the default recommended one and just move on. Okay. And say, Create me an info product from the attached files. And again, I'm just attaching some PLR and starting the brainstorming process and using my AI as an assistant. And I haven't even dove or I haven't even really gotten deep into the weeds of how to set the context like I did in the beginning when I said, hey, let's see how ChatGPT works and get rid of that awful splash screen at the beginning and use something like the before after bridge structure from the Prompt PsyOps Message Clarity Codex to really have a structure of understanding that I want to start with the before, go through the after, and then bridge those folks that I've identified over to the solution. So from the problem where they're at now, before, what it looks like after, and then bridge them over to the solution. I'm just using a set of PLR and a basic prompt to start a brainstorming session. To do just like you would do if you were thinking out loud or brainstorming with me in real life, I would say, hey, let's create an information product from this PLR. Well, what is this PLR is about? What is this PLR about? Here's a complete info product built from the 10 stress-related files you uploaded, structured, branded, and ready to be positioned as a high-value guide. Now, all those other things that are promised to us from OpenAI and how powerful ChatGPT 5 is all under the hood, and that's fantastic, and I'm excited for it. But I don't want to get lost in the minutia. I don't want to be here on YouTube worried about what it can do for people that are writing Python programs or accessing their Google Calendar and translating into a certain language or creating SVGs that they can interact with to understand and see a model of how an airplane works. That's not what I need as a marketer. That's not my focus. So this video today is about you not getting lost in the fact of ChatGPT 5 and come back to this and say, okay, we're going to build the ultimate stress survival blueprint for how to identify, manage, and master stress for a healthier, happy life. Because if this is your niche, breaking down stress and showing a group of people how they can survive stress, then this is what you want to use ChatGPT 5 for, and you just want to move forward with it. Just like if it's an upgrade of your Windows or your iPhone or your Android device or your Mac, you just got to say, okay, well, they moved that button. Let me go find where that button is, drag it back to my desktop and power through it. So we come back to this and we move through this chat idea and this concept. And again, people are looking at this and like instantly I'm like, why did they have to give me this horrid splash screen, right? But now I know how to change it and it's just a simple setting. But I also know that when I get started, it goes away. But people have been complaining about their GPTs, and I have a few, but I really don't use GPTs the way everyone else does because I think it stifles my creativity. And that's just me personally, but that's why I sell my prompt PsyOps products as meta prompts and frameworks that you can read and understand because we're using AI and the LLM as a learning experience. So if I was to click on my niche brainstormer GPT, it brings into the configuration mode here where you used to have the ability to recommend different models for different tasks. And the way that GPTs or the way that ChatGPT and OpenAI had positioned it was, and people were using it, they were picking from these different models for different tasks. And now they've just rolled all that up into GPT-5 and says GPT-5 is the best at everything. Let's move forward. All right. So again, I move into the idea and the concept with you here. For example, in my prompt PsyOps workshop, the goal in module 1 is mastering AI prompt foundations, and it's to understand the models and how to effectively prompt AI LLMs. And that is the focus. That is what we're doing. So for example, I've created the prompt PsyOps marketer's persuasion thesaurus, and this is a meta prompt for understanding. It becomes a plug and play prompt that turns any language model into your personal copy mentor and persuasion coach, because that's our focus. We're looking to get better at copy, not really become a copywriter because we're just marketers and content creators, but to understand why copy works and the way that persuasion works inside of that copy. The written word turned into something like this, into a video. So I've broken that down, and what I've done inside of this prompt, and this is all inside of my prompt PsyOps workshop, is at the end, I wanted to improve the copy, but I also wanted to give me lesson notes because my whole point of these brainstorming sessions, just like in this video, is to show you that I'm using AI as an assistant, but I'm also using it as a tool to learn, to understand why things work and how they work. And again, it doesn't matter on the model to me. Yes, it might have been better in 4, 4.1, or 3.5 or whatever, but we just got to move forward and say, let's make what we have now continue to work the way we need it to work. So in ChatGPT 5, at the end, rewrite the copy and then give me a summary of the persuasion techniques used. So if I take that, and you can see I've switched to Google Gemini now, I'm looking at the lesson notes and I've highlighted these because we get 3 lesson notes: clarity over complexity, use action words, relate to the reader. Now I'm going to switch to Claude. So on the screen, I've switched to Claude. The lesson notes here are clarity over cleverness, positive problem solving, and concrete outcomes. Now go back to ChatGPT 5, and the lessons here, the lesson notes here are specificity over abstraction, pattern interrupts, and contrast reframes. So it's not about ChatGPT 5 or ChatGPT or about Claude and whatever they're running Claude Sonnet 4, right? Not about that. Flash 2.5, I think they have 2.5 Pro. It's not about that. It's about the lessons that we are learning right now using whichever AI LLM that we're interfacing with because we liked it for whatever reason, and just moving forward and understanding that what we want to do is we want to take these lessons learned and we want to take something like what I have inside of the Prompt PsyOps Message Clarity Codex cheat sheet, because what we need to do is we need to learn how to use the AI as an assistant and take, for example, the Prompt PsyOps Message Clarity Codex cheat sheet, load that up into ChatGPT 5 to stay focused in this video on ChatGPT and ChatGPT 5, load up the Prompt PsyOps Messaging Clarity Codex cheat sheet and just tell it, help me find clarity with the attached cheat sheet. Let's get back to brainstorming. Me and you as marketers and content creators, whether we're affiliate marketers or selling our own products, let's focus on clarity, finding clarity in the message. Got it. Your Prompt PsyOps Message Clarity Codex cheat sheet is essentially 2 things in one: a messaging blueprint, the 4 message structures that make sure what you write has a clear purpose and lands clearly, a persuasion toolkit, the 21 psychological levers you can stack to give your message emotion, tension, and belief shifting power. If you're looking for clarity onto how to actually, or let me highlight this again so you get what we're trying to do here. If you're looking for clarity onto how to actually use it without feeling like you have to memorize the whole thing, here's the streamlined view. If you're actually looking for clarity on how to use ChatGPT 5 versus Gemini or Claude or any other AI LLMs that are out there, what you need to do is you need to focus on what the problem that you're trying to solve is, or what you're trying to solve for you is as a marketer, you're a content creator, or a content creator, you need to understand marketing and get clear on how to craft a better message to target that audience that has a problem, and then guide them over the hurdles or through the little micro mini problems up the ladder that they need to climb to get to the solution that you're recommending to solve their problem. You can check out the Prompt PsyOps Message Clarity Codex cheat sheet. There's a link in the description to check that out, because the focus here is to get clear on ChatGPT 5 and moving forward with finding clarity in the message that you're trying to craft to do the one thing that it is that you need to do, which is build a better message, craft a better message, focus on that, and start making money here online. Thanks for watching this video. If you got any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.